Imagine the most non-funny person you know. That boring person who sits in a corner, never says anything interesting, and just has no excitement about them at all. Now imagine that that person came to you and said, I'm going to become a professional comedian. What do you think, eh? Huh? You'd think that person is crazy. And that's exactly what your audience is thinking when you're opening with a joke that you found off the internet. Hey, I'm Ryan McLean from publicspeakingpower.com, and today I want to talk about why public speaking opening jokes always fail. So I'm going to cover 5 reasons why they always fail, and then I'm going to touch on some of the things that you can do instead so you can wow your audience, which I'm guessing is what you want to do if you're interested in doing jokes in the first place. So the first reason that public speaking jokes fail is the fact that they're never that funny. They're not that funny. The jokes that you get off the internet are like the jokes that come in your Christmas bonbons when you pull them apart and you get your hat and your little Christmas joke and it says something about a snowman and you're like, huh, there was a bit of a play on words there, but it's really not that funny. And that's the same with the jokes that you're finding off the internet. They're not that funny. The second reason that they fail is that too much hinges on the joke. If you're opening, the introduction is very important to your presentation, and if you're opening with a joke and that joke fails, well, your presentation has basically failed from the get-go. Your introduction needs to establish with your audience why this is important to them and why they should listen to this speech, and also why you're credible and why they should listen to you. And if you tell a joke that fails, well then they're not going to want to listen to you because they're like, well, this guy's an idiot. And then they're not going to want to respect you because they're like, well, this guy's an idiot. And so too much hinges on that opening. And so to tell a joke and it fail is just, it's not worth the risk, I don't think. Number 3 is that the audience doesn't know you. Jokes are so much funnier when you know the person who's telling it. If you know me and you know my situation and you know who my kids are and I tell a joke about my kids, well, that's going to be funnier than if I get up in front of a crowd and just go straight into a joke about what happened to my 3.5-year-old. If they don't know me, they don't know who I am, they don't know my personality or the people I'm talking about in the joke, then it's not going to be funny. So because they don't know you, it's probably not the best thing to do. Number 4 is that you're not going to be genuine. One of the things that I push and push and push is that we be genuine public speakers. We be who we are, not who we think we should be because we learned some public speaking technique on YouTube somewhere through one of my videos or through some other video that you saw. We want to be ourselves, we want to be genuine, and a joke off the internet isn't going to be about you. It isn't going to be genuine. And number 5 is that there's nothing in it for them. So I spoke about the fact that introductions are so important because we need to establish with the audience what is in it for them. Why should they listen to this? Why should they bother listening to your speech? If you're telling a joke, there's nothing in it for them. If they've gone to see a comedian, well, that's a different story. Because they're there to laugh, they're there to have a good time, so they expect jokes. But if you're giving a business presentation, if you're preaching at your church, if you're discussing the ins and outs of weaving, then people don't necessarily want a joke. They see a joke and they write off the rest of your speech because they're like, well, this guy isn't going to give me any useful information that I can use for my life. So think about the context of your presentation. If it's formal, if it's one where you're delivering educational content and you want people to get something out of it that improves their lives, which let's face it is probably 90% of public speaking, then why are you opening with a joke which doesn't get the buy-in from the audience at all? So think about your introductions. I've got another blog post on introductions that you can check out. I'm Ryan McLean. If you want more videos, audios, or articles just like this one, head over to publicspeakingpower.com. And next time you get up in front of an audience, try not to tell a joke. Because they're not that funny. Not at all. Not even this much.